All right, Coach. On the road in Central Texas, we faced off against St. Edwards and St. Mary's. We came out with four wins on the weekend. Battled the elements yesterday, but just walk me through this week as a whole for your program.
Well, it was a great weekend for us. There's no doubt. Anytime you go on the road in the Lone Star and you win four, you come home 4-0. That's a good weekend. And St. Edwards has always been a place that it's one of those where the ball doesn't carry, the wind blowing straight in, and weird things can happen. And we went there last year and split after run ruled them in game one. So it was good to be able to go out there. Game one got a little hairy. We were in command on cruise control 4-1, and I think it was the fifth or sixth. I'm not sure which one of the two. All of a sudden, a bloop single here, bloop single there. I think we made an error mixed in, and Coach Scott waited a little too long to go pull the trigger and change pitchers, and next thing you know, it's a tie ball game. So got to give St. Ed's credit for scrapping. But Addie Ewing came in, and Maddie was on cruise control. Like I said, they got to her there, and Addie came in, settled everything down, and then we got a big double out of Abby Brand to start off the eighth inning. Laren Foyge ended up, it seems like a nothing at the time, but it turned out to be just a ground ball to second base to advance Abby to third, and then Alexa Kuto, who was running for Abby, and then Taylor Haywood laid down a perfect squeeze bunt, and Alexa used her speed and beat it out and went out and won it in the bottom as well. So that was good, and then we went out and kind of, got a somewhat commanding win there, 9-3 in game two. Hit some balls hard. The wind, like I said, was blowing straight in. Tatiana Trotter just mashed a ball right into the wind to right field that went out, that I didn't think you were going to be able to hit it out to right field that day. And Abby had a home run. They were up 1-0 after the first inning, and she led off the second with a home run. And Abby had a really good day at St. Ed's. I think she had 2 doubles and a home run. Tati had a good day. Zoe had a big double there, and just did what we needed to do to win 2 games. Shout out to the St. Edwards field crew. Their dirt was immaculate. It was the best dirt that we played on all year. Probably the best dirt we played on in a few years. They did a great job with it. So shout out to you guys. Yeah. And then yesterday, St. Mary's, a team who's been playing really well, sitting in 5th or 6th place in the conference standings. I was really happy with the way we went out and played. We got on them early. These 4 games in one weekend against different opponents, I keep forgetting. But Kylie had a big double that got us started off the game, if I'm not mistaken, and we ended up scoring in the first and on a sac fly. Maddie again threw the ball really well, and Addie had to come in, and that's what it was, the rain. So the rain hit us in the 5th inning, I think, I thought the officials waited a little too long to call it, and I'm going, let's go, guys. We can't. We walked 4 in that inning. We're up 4-1, if I'm not mistaken, or 5-1, something like that, and we walk in a run or 2, and finally they pulled the trigger and got us off the field, and at a 5-4 game or 4-3 game, whatever it was, 1-run game, they had the bases loaded and only 1 out, and it was like, my goodness, so I was a little frustrated with that, but we had an hour-and-a-half delay, and then when we came back out, Addie gets a shallow fly ball to center field that Tatiana comes up, charges fields, makes a perfect throw to home to prevent them from scoring, and then get a ground ball, I think, to end the inning and get out of that. And it kind of felt like, okay, we were able to get out of that. We still have the lead. We should be able to hold on to this thing. And I think we tacked on another run, if I'm not mistaken, to win it. Yeah, so 6-4 game. And then game 2, Ashley Dendis, huge. She's been struggling in the circle a little bit for us lately. We gave her some rest the last couple of weeks, haven't used her a whole lot to try to get her legs back, and man, she looked good yesterday. Best she's thrown in a long time, had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning. We had a plan of throwing her 2 or 3 innings and getting her out, and my wife was like, are we going to pull her or not? And I'm like, have you seen the scoreboard? I don't want to say, but look at the scoreboard, and so yeah, I was going to let her throw a complete game if she could keep the no-hitter. but she gave up that hit there in the 6th inning, and we went ahead and went to Bree Waters at that point, and Bree did a really good job of keeping it at bay. Got a 5-0 win. Tatiana hits another bomb to center field over their big batter's eye out there in center field, and had a really big day yesterday out of California, and Tatiana and Ashley Dendis had some big hits as well, so that was good to see.
And following up on that, you've already touched on a lot of this next question, but you had an extra inning win, you were ahead, then they came back, but you still won in extras. Then a few days later, you had to endure an hour and a half rain delay. Just what does it say about your team's resiliency to go anywhere on the road or home, wherever you are, and play under such conditions?
Well, we also had a 30-minute umpire delay in Game 2 at St. Edwards. The umpire was, after the first inning, he wasn't feeling well, and it was pretty warm, so he got with his partners and they made the switch, so we had to wait on that. Our players have done a great job all year, and they really, I acknowledged it on the bus yesterday about doing a great job of handling adversity, and when things are thrown at us, we don't panic, and we just kind of do what we need to do. We keep our focus a little bit. Teams are out there dancing and having a dance contest and all that during delays, and we're not. We're in the dugout. We're entertained, I guess, by them, but we're not. We're not going to do that kind of thing. We're there to play softball, not have a dance contest or act silly and turn it into a circus. We're going to continue to focus on what we need to do, and sure enough, after that delay, we go out and score 5. So, I think that was kind of like, well, hey, they won the dance-off up, but we just scored 5 as soon as we got back to play. So I think that kind of speaks to the focus that our girls were able to keep. Yes, they let down. Yes, we relaxed a little bit, grabbed a snack or whatever, but then it's time to go. It's time to go. And we're not exhausted because of what we've been doing for the last 30 to 45 minutes. So, very happy and proud of the way that we've handled things. Again, going on the road, playing on dirt both times, and we handled it really well. We turned 3 double plays yesterday. That was pretty cool because in the sport of fast pitch softball with 60-foot bases, double plays are hard to turn. And Kylie and Taylor were awesome. Our pitchers got them ground balls in big situations that we needed, and turned 3 double plays yesterday. That was big, maybe 4. I know we ended Game 1 in the 6-4 game with a double play. So, those kind of things are cool. And baseball is fairly common to be able to turn double plays. In softball, it's a lot more difficult with the bases at such short distance and as athletic as players are. But just really, we played really good. And, I kind of mentioned, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, that we seemed to be missing that spark. I think we found it again, and we got it back. So that was it. It was pretty cool to see here going down the stretch.
Speaking of finding that spark, you've won 8 straight games. You have 2 weeks left in the regular season. Just what's the key to keeping this going and closing on a strong?
Well, again, it goes back to focusing on what's right in front of us, because we got a massive, Oklahoma Christian swept Tyler yesterday, so that puts us in 2nd place all by ourselves. 1 game behind WT, who we play here in 2 weeks, and they have to go down to Kingsville this next week. So that's all. They swept us down there. It's been a tough place to play. So hopefully Kingsville can help us out too after sweeping us down there. But, that conference championship is out there, and it's something that, we don't shy away from. We talk about it. But we also then immediately start talking about, hey, again, on the bus, I was like, I know y'all know, but Tyler got swept. We're right there. And however, our focus has to be Lubbock Christian on Friday, and because Lubbock Christian's been playing well again here lately, and they're going to come in here, and they got a good staff and athletic team, so we got to make sure that we continue to focus on what's right in front of us, because there's that carrot dangling out there that it's impossible not to look ahead and go, if we can do this and this and that, conference championships there, the possibility to host a regional tournament is there. But we got to just, that's my job, is to make sure that we continue to preach on it's Lubbock Christian first inning is what we got to focus on right now.
So, of course, at the many discussions we've had about all the crazy stuff you got to do in the spring, of course, that comes with this weekend. At home for the last time in the regular season, hosting Lubbock Christian, Midwestern State. I'm assuming senior day would probably be that Sunday, or whatever that may be for your program. A lot of things going on. So first off, let's talk about those matches with the 2 teams, and then the festivities and all that fun stuff.
Again, Lubbock Christian, we went and swept them at their place early in the conference schedule. I feel like game one, I don't remember. I feel like game one we won by 3 or 4 runs, but game two we were down. Their freshman kid threw the ball really well against us in game two. I feel like we were down 2-1 going into the 7th, and Zoe hits an opposite field home run to tie it up, and then Ashley immediately follows with a bomb to left field to get the win. So that was big, that was massive. It was a great, back-to-back home runs to win that one. But a team that has some speed, they don't quite have the power that they've had the past few years, but they're an athletic team. They're sitting somewhere in that 6-7 range right now in the conference standings, I think. So they're in a dogfight to try to get the seeding for the conference tournament. But if we can go out and play the way we played this last weekend, I feel good about anything. But yeah, we've got to lose the distractions. Our senior day is actually going to be Friday, so we do it on Friday. Therefore, if parents can't hang around on Sunday, then if they need to get back for work or whatever, then they don't have that issue. So we do it. We're going to do it Friday, right before the first game. So, we'd love to see people show up early. We need you here by about 4:45 is when we'll probably start trying to get ready to start that senior day. There's only 2 of them. Carly Manning, a first-year player for us, who was actually our graduate assistant coach last year, and we realized she's got another year of eligibility. So pretty cool story for her to finish up her career 2 years ago at Abilene Christian. We hired her as a graduate assistant coach, and throughout the process it was like, Carly, we think you have another year of eligibility, and went through Megan Patel, and she's like, yeah, she does. So we made the decision to use her this year instead of last year because we had so many seniors, and she's had a great year sitting in the leadoff spot, tremendous left fielder for us. So it's a pretty cool story for her to end her career now on the field a little bit more than what she did her senior year at Abilene Christian. And then Tatiana Trotter, what else can you say about that kid? 4-year starter for us here, and part-time starter as a freshman, then took over as a sophomore, and has had just a phenomenal career. Career triples leader for the program. Got another one, I think, this weekend. Turned into a leader within our program. Just loves the game, puts in all the work that you want, and she's a true Angelo State Rambelle. And senior day is always, it's great to honor them, but it's also emotional for me because man, they're not going to be here anymore. So hopefully we still have another full month to play, but we're going to honor them, and it's more of an honoring thing for them more than we try not to make it too emotional. And then we'll have a lunch on Saturday, for the friends and family of the program. So appreciate everybody involved with that. You know who you are, and we appreciate you for that. And then we'll get Midwestern on Sunday. So we always do it on that Friday for that reason as well, but also if we do have weather issues, we have Sunday as a backup. But senior day will be Friday, Lubbock Christian, and then Midwestern on Sunday. A team, again, that's struggling to win games. They're toward the bottom of the conference. Offensively, it's a struggle for them, but they've got, in particular, they got the one kid that can really pitch. She throws it well. So I think we had to come from behind to beat her, maybe in the 5th or 6th inning when we got her at their place. But that's what we got ahead, and unfortunately it's going to be the last home games here. Hopefully it's not the last home games, but it could be, but hopefully we'll have some postseason action here at Meyerfield.
Fantastic. Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.